Happy Oscar Sunday, everyone! It's a big day for cinema, and to celebrate, I'm going to be talking about a comic book movie. Yay! Hey everyone, it's Nathan Orenstein with The No Show, here to talk about Kathy Ann's Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey stars Margot Robbie, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Journey Smollett-Bell, Rosie Perez, Chris Messina, Ella J. Basco, and Ewan McGregor, and is written by Christina Hodson. It takes place after the events of 2016's Suicide Squad, but it's more of a spin-off than a sequel. I think the question on everyone's minds is if this is better than Suicide Squad. In short, yes, it's much better, but really any movie is when compared to that dumpster fire of a film. So let's get into how much better it really is and what makes it better specifically. The star of the show here is Harley Quinn, so if you hated her character in Suicide Squad, you can definitely avoid this movie and turn this review off. But if you liked her or were even indifferent, I wouldn't be so quick to write this movie off. Birds of Prey treats Harley like a real character, not just the over-sexualized counterpart to the Joker that Suicide Squad would have you believe she was. In fact, all the characters here get pretty equal treatment from writer Christina Hodson, which is definitely a refreshing change of pace. All the characters are portrayed pretty well and written well too. I'm not going to get super into detail because there are a lot of new faces here, but the cast does a pretty great job overall and adds a lot of entertainment to the film. I do have to give a quick shout out to Mary Elizabeth Winstead though, because she steals every scene she's in and is just hilarious in the most awkward way possible. The action in Birds of Prey is also a definite highlight. There's a lot of close combat here, which is a vast improvement over the shoot all the bad guys scenes from Suicide Squad. The action is filmed really well and never feels too fast or jarring for its own good. There's a lot of slow-mo here too, but it's stylish and never feels like it's being used too much. The whole movie also just has a really colorful and zany presentation to it, and this is most effective when it bleeds into the action scenes. But now we have to talk about the story, which definitely does not fare as well as the characters and the action do. The story is actually super simple. Bad guys want a diamond, a kid ends up with the diamond, Harley has to protect the kid from the bad guys. That's it. But this movie will have you believe that it is way more complicated than that. The first half of the movie is just a total mess in terms of structure. Harley's narrating, and she is, of course, a crazy clown lady, so the narrative's kind of told out of order and in a really jarring way. And I understand that they did this to match the overall artistic presentation of the film, but it just feels completely unnecessary and makes the film way more confusing, I guess you could say, than it really has any right to be. Also, in my opinion, the first 20 minutes of Birds of Prey is just not entertaining at all. We're getting this introduction to Harley's life after Suicide Squad, and it is just way too over the top and just comes off as super cringy and unfunny. Luckily, the film does start to pull itself together a bit as it approaches the climax, and it ends with a really satisfying and exciting finale. But the story is just not super compelling and is ultimately just kind of dumb and messy. And no, I wasn't expecting a masterclass in storytelling from Birds of Prey, but this is definitely the weakest point in the film, and it is pretty noticeable. By the way, I don't normally talk about trailers, but the trailer for Birds of Prey is especially misleading. It has you believing that this is going to be like some sort of Avengers type thing where all these people team up to take down the bad guy. And while this does happen eventually, it's not really until the third and final act of the film. This is without a doubt the best part of the film. But during these first two acts, the characters are all kind of off doing their own thing. I mean, it is connected through the story a little bit, but the characters just aren't super interesting on their own. And as I said, the story is not super compelling. So these first two acts really kind of feel a bit like a slog, not gonna lie. At the end of the day, Birds of Prey is a pretty good time, but I wouldn't say it's much more than that. The cast and the action are what make it entertaining, but it's bogged down by subpar writing and just an overall sense that things are way too over the top for their own good. Luckily, it is saved from mediocrity by a genuinely great third act that ends the film on a high note. As I said before, avoid this film if you can't get behind the idea of a film centered around Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. But it is pretty enjoyable overall, even if it does feel like a bit of a lame Deadpool ripoff at times. Birds of Prey is slightly above average, and I'm going to be giving it a 6 out of 10. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and if you liked the review, then feel free to like and subscribe. And if you've seen Birds of Prey already, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll be reviewing Netflix's Horse Girl in the next few days, so click that bell to get notifications for whenever I post. I've been Nathan Orenstein with The No Show. See you next time.